One thing people need to truly understand is this: these accusations aren't just rumors, they're serious, and they deserve to be treated that way. A crime is a crime no matter who commits it. The law doesn't bend for fame or fortune. If you've seen the footage, if you've paid attention, the dysfunction is undeniable. It's not just hearsay, it's a pattern. At one point, I even looked him in the eye and said, "You need help, you need therapy." Because sometimes what's broken on the inside starts spilling out, and you can't hide it anymore.
In the labyrinth of Hollywood's glitz and glamour, where stories of fame and fortune often overshadow darker truths, Terrence Howard has emerged as an unexpected harbinger of uncomfortable revelations. The acclaimed actor, known for his commanding performances in films like Hustle and Flow and his role as Lucius Leon in Empire, recently dropped a bombshell that has sent shockwaves through Tinseltown. During a raw and unfiltered podcast appearance, Howard peeled back the curtain on what he describes as Diddy's predatory behavior, specifically targeting young talent like Bryshere Gray, who played his son Andre Leon in the hit series. The revelation came during an intimate conversation on James Monroe's popular podcast Behind the Scenes, when Howard recounted a disturbing pattern of manipulation and exploitation within the entertainment industry. What began as a discussion about power dynamics in Hollywood quickly evolved into a detailed account of how Diddy allegedly attempted to groom and control young artists, using their aspirations as leverage against them. Howard's words painted a chilling picture of an industry where success often comes at an unimaginable personal cost. At the center of these revelations stands Bryshere Gray, whose rapid rise to fame through Empire coincided with his alleged entanglement with Diddy's influential orbit. According to Howard, Gray's story represents a tragic pattern where young black talent becomes particularly vulnerable to exploitation by established industry power players. The actor described witnessing Gray's gradual transformation from a promising young artist into someone visibly damaged by forces beyond his control, all while working alongside him on set. What makes Howard's account particularly compelling is not just its sensational nature, but how it ties into broader patterns of behavior within the entertainment industry. His recollections include specific moments of tension, strategic positioning, and carefully orchestrated manipulations that veteran industry observers recognize as classic tactics, employed by those seeking to extend their influence beyond professional boundaries. The involvement of Gray's own mother, Andrea Mabry, adds another layer of complexity to the narrative, suggesting a web of complicity that extends far beyond initial expectations. This disclosure couldn't have come at a more crucial time in both men's careers. While Diddy continues to tan his entertainment empire, Howard has become increasingly vocal about his experiences navigating Hollywood's treacherous waters. The timing of these revelations coincides with growing scrutiny of power dynamics within the industry, making Howard's account not just a personal story but part of a larger conversation about accountability and integrity in entertainment circles. As Howard delved deeper into the specifics of his encounter with Diddy, the details emerged with striking clarity, painting a picture that went far beyond initial expectation. The sequence of events began innocently enough, with Diddy extending multiple invitations under the guise of seeking acting coaching. Each call carried the professional sheen of artistic development, yet beneath the surface lurked ulterior motives that would gradually reveal themselves in alarming ways. Howard recalled how Diddy's approach escalated over several weeks, with persistent requests for private meetings at his lavish residences. These weren't casual invitations, they came with the weight of industry influence and the promise of career advancement. When Howard finally agreed to meet, ostensibly to discuss acting techniques, he found himself in a meticulously staged environment where the lines between professional engagement and personal expectation blurred alarmingly. The turning point came during one particular session when Diddy's intentions became unmistakably clear. Howard described how the mogul strategically positioned himself closer during their interactions, maintaining seemingly casual eye contact while probing deeper into personal matters. He wasn't just looking for acting tips, Howard explained. He was mapping territory, testing boundaries. This observation aligned with patterns recognized by behavioral experts who study power dynamics in high-stakes environments. Howard's assistant, who had been monitoring the situation discreetly from an adjacent room, later confirmed that similar scenarios had played out with other high-profile individuals invited to Diddy's residence. These accounts revealed a pattern of escalating intimacy in conversations, coupled with carefully orchestrated physical proximity that blurred professional lines. When questioned about the purpose of these meetings, Diddy's team would consistently frame them as networking opportunities or collaborative brainstorming sessions, but the reality often told a different story. Perhaps most revealing were the aftermath attempts, the subtle pressure to maintain connection, the follow-up invitations phrased as casual hangouts rather than formal business meetings. Howard described how these persisted even after he established clear boundaries, with Diddy's camp employing various intermediaries to facilitate continued contact. The persistence of these advances, combined with the implied consequences of refusal, created a complex web of professional and personal implications that extended far beyond a single evening's interaction. During the podcast, Howard shared a particularly telling exchange with his assistant. "My guy comes back and says, 'I think he's trying to get at you.'" This realization marked a definitive moment of clarity, prompting Howard to sever all communication immediately. Yet this decision didn't shield him from further attempts by other industry figures who reportedly approached him with similar propositions, often linking such expectations to potential acting roles or career advancement. The fallout from Howard's revelations rippled through Hollywood with unprecedented force, igniting a firestorm of reactions that exposed deep-seated divisions within the entertainment community. Industry veterans found themselves walking a tightrope between supporting Howard's courage and maintaining diplomatic silence regarding one of music's most powerful figures. Veteran actor Samuel L. Jackson, known for his close ties to both Howard and Diddy, offered a measured response. "I've seen things in this business that would make your skin crawl. Sometimes you gotta ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice for success?" His carefully worded statement reflected a broader pattern among A-listers who choose their words cautiously, aware of the potential career ramifications of taking sides in such high-profile disputes. Music producer Dr. Dre, who has worked extensively with Diddy over the years, expressed mixed emotions during a recent interview. "Terrence is a brother I respect deeply," he stated, "but you also know how these situations can get twisted in the media. There's always more to the story than what hits the headline." This hesitation to fully endorse either party underscores the complex allegiances and business relationships that bind Hollywood's elite together, creating a web of dependencies that complicates public responses to such revelation. Younger artists, particularly those who rose to fame through Diddy's Bad Boy records, faced perhaps the most challenging position. R&B sensation, H.E.A., who collaborated with Diddy early in her career, admitted to feeling conflicted. "I learned so much from him about the business side of music, but hearing Terrence's story makes me reflect on some interactions that felt off at the time. You don't want to believe these things about someone who helped shape your career." Her comments highlight a common dilemma faced by many in the industry, who have benefited professionally from Diddy's mentorship while grappling with the implications of Howard's allegation. Industry analysts noted a significant shift in how similar situations are addressed compared to previous generations. Music journalist Janelle Harris observed, 10 years ago, something like this might have been dismissed or covered up. The fact that Terrence feels empowered to speak out, and that people are listening, shows how much the industry has changed. However, she also pointed out the double-edged nature of this progress. While there's more space for these conversations now, the power dynamics that allowed this situation to occur still exist in many forms throughout the industry. The ripple effects extended beyond personal reactions to tangible business consequences. Several high-profile collaborations involving Diddy have reportedly been put on hold pending further development. Streaming platforms have quietly adjusted their promotional strategies around his catalog, while upcoming documentary projects about his life and career have been delayed indefinitely. These business decisions reflect a careful balancing act between acknowledging his musical contributions and addressing the serious allegations now part of his legacy. Notably, many men in the industry have privately reached out to Howard, sharing their own stories of navigating power imbalances in professional settings. This groundswell of support has created an informal network of solidarity, with several prominent figures pledging to use their platforms to address systemic issues of control and manipulation in entertainment relations. As one anonymous studio executive confided, Terrence's story isn't just about one incident. It's opening eyes to patterns we've all seen but maybe haven't wanted to confront direct. Howard's reflections on maintaining personal integrity in the face of Hollywood's pressures offer crucial insights into understanding power dynamics within the entertainment industry. At the heart of his experience lies a fundamental truth about how ambition and vulnerability intersect. particularly for creatives navigating spaces where professional advancement often demands personal compromise. Relationship expert Dr. Marsha Houston explains, in environments where one individual holds significantly more influence, whether through connections, resources, or industry clout, there is a natural tendency for that power to seep into personal dynamics. What starts as mutual admiration can evolve into a hierarchical structure that undermines equality in relation. The phenomenon Howard describes aligns with what psychologists term power differential exploitation, where the less powerful party becomes increasingly dependent on their counterpart for both professional opportunities and personal validation. Career counselor Amanda Stevens notes, many professionals in creative fields confuse mentorship with obligation, especially when they're dealing with someone established in the industry. The line between professional guidance and personal manipulation can blur dangerously. This blurring creates an environment where legitimate business decisions can mask manipulative behaviors, making it difficult for outsiders to distinguish between professional strategy and personal abuse. Particularly relevant to Howard's case is how public image maintenance compounds these power dynamics. Media analyst Professor Richard Chen observes, celebrities are conditioned to protect their brand above all else. When your personal life becomes part of your professional identity, addressing problematic behavior requires confronting not just your partner but your entire public persona. This reality helps explain why individuals in Howard's position often remain silent despite recognizing unhealthy patterns. The fear of professional repercussions and public judgment creates an additional layer of control beyond the immediate relationship dynamic. Moreover, the entertainment industry's culture of secrecy and protection of its stars exacerbates these issues. Industry veteran and former talent manager Lisa Monroe explains, there's an unwritten code about protecting the golden goose. If a powerful figure is generating hits or drawing audiences, their personal behavior often gets a pass. People look the other way because the stakes are so high financially. This institutional complicity creates an environment where controlling behaviors can flourish unchecked, shielded by the very industry that benefits from the perpetrator's success. Howard's experience also highlights the sophisticated nature of emotional manipulation in professional contexts. Business psychologist Dr. Elena Torres emphasizes, in creative industries, the language of artistic vision and brand consistency can be weaponized to justify controlling behavior. What might be flagged as problematic in a regular corporate setting gets rationalized as necessary for artistic success. This normalization of control under the guise of professional necessity makes it particularly challenging for victims to identify and address abuse. The intersection of business and personal relationships in Hollywood creates unique vulnerabilities. Financial advisor Sarah Mitchell, who works with entertainment professionals, notes, when your partner manages your money, controls your bookings, and influences your creative direction, leaving becomes more than just an emotional decision. It's a career-ending risk. This financial entanglement, combined with industry pressure to maintain appearances, creates a perfect storm that can keep individuals trapped in unhealthy dynamics far longer than they might otherwise tolerate. Importantly, Howard's story serves as a catalyst for re-examining how mentorship and partnership should function in professional settings. Career development specialist Marcus Wong suggests, healthy professional relationships require clear boundaries and transparent communication. When these elements are missing, particularly in the context of creative collaboration, the potential for abuse increases dramatically. This insight underscores the need for industry-wide reforms in how power dynamics are addressed and monitored within collaborative relations. The entertainment industry's response to Howard's revelations suggests a growing awareness of these complex dynamics. However, as workplace consultant Dr. Patricia Kim notes, real change requires more than just acknowledging the problem. It demands structural reforms in how we handle power imbalances, create safe spaces for reporting abuse, and support individuals trying to extricate themselves from toxic situations. Only through such comprehensive approaches can the industry hope to prevent future occurrences of the patterns Howard so bravely exposed. In the aftermath of Howard's disclosures, the entertainment landscape finds itself undergoing significant transformation, with ripple effects extending far beyond the immediate parties involved. Diddy's once unassailable reputation as a music industry titan now exists in a more nuanced context, where his professional achievements must be weighed against the disturbing patterns of behavior that have come to light. Industry analysts suggest this duality may redefine how future generations perceive his contributions, with biographies and documentaries likely presenting a more complex portrait of his impact on music and culture. The Recording Academy has already announced plans to review its historical honors in light of new information, signaling a shift toward more comprehensive evaluations of industry figures' legacies. For Howard, the consequences of speaking out have manifested in unexpected ways. His production company has seen a surge in opportunities, not necessarily because of sympathy, but due to newfound respect for his resilience and leadership. Major streaming platforms have approached him with proposals for content that addresses power dynamics and abuse in the entertainment industry, recognizing his unique perspective and credibility. Notably, his upcoming documentary series Power Unveiled has secured unprecedented funding, positioning him as a leading voice in discussions about systemic change within Hollywood. The broader industry response has been marked by tangible action rather than mere rhetoric. Several major studios have implemented mandatory training programs on power dynamics and healthy professional boundaries, with Howard serving as an advisory board member for these initiatives. The establishment of the Entertainment Accountability Council marks perhaps the most significant institutional change, creating a formal mechanism for addressing power imbalances and abuse within the industry. This council, chaired by prominent industry figures, represents a fundamental shift in how Hollywood addresses these critical issues. Howard's influence extends beyond institutional changes to personal empowerment movements within the industry. His public advocacy has inspired the formation of support networks for male executives and creatives navigating complex power dynamics. The Safe Creative Space movement, which gained momentum following his revelations, has led to the creation of safe houses and legal resources, specifically designed for entertainment professionals facing similar situations. These initiatives demonstrate how one person's courage can catalyze meaningful structural change across an entire industry. Looking ahead, the lasting impact of Howard's disclosures seems poised to reshape fundamental aspects of how relationships and power are negotiated in Hollywood. Talent agencies have begun revising their standard contracts to include explicit protections against professional personal entanglements, while insurance companies offering E&O policies now require more stringent conflict of interest disclosures. These procedural changes reflect a deeper understanding of how power dynamics can manifest in creative industries and represent concrete steps toward preventing similar situations in the future. Perhaps most significantly, Howard's journey demonstrates the transformative power of truth-telling in breaking cycles of abuse and control. His story has opened doors for others in the industry to share their experiences, without fear of professional retaliation, creating a ripple effect of accountability that extends far beyond his immediate circle. As he continues to build his media empire and advocate for systemic change, Terrence Howard's legacy evolves from that of a successful actor to a pioneering force for justice and reform in entertainment. Howard's revelations about his encounter with Diddy, and the subsequent industry reactions, serve as a powerful mirror reflecting the complex interplay of power, integrity, and survival within Hollywood's ecosystem. What initially appeared as a straightforward business meeting evolved into a profound lesson about the price of maintaining one's principles in an environment that often demands compromise. The stark contrast between Diddy's public persona as a savvy businessman and the private reality Howard experienced underscores how easily professional admiration can transform into personal subjugation when left unchecked by proper boundaries and accountability. This case study in celebrity power dynamics exposes how easily professional admiration can morph into personal manipulation when left unchecked by proper boundaries and accountability. The sophisticated nature of the control exercised, masked by industry norms and justified through business rationale, demonstrates how even the most accomplished individuals can find themselves ensnared in patterns of abuse. Yet Howard's journey from target to victor exemplifies the transformative power of speaking truth to power, showing that authentic strength lies not in maintaining facades but in dismantling them. The entertainment industry now stands at a pivotal moment, forced to confront uncomfortable truths about how power operates within its ranks. Howard's courage has sparked necessary conversations about the intersection of personal and professional relationships, leading to concrete changes in how the industry addresses power imbalances. From revised contractual standards to new accountability measures, his experience has catalyzed structural reforms that promise to protect future generations of creatives. Most importantly, his story validates the experiences of countless others who have faced similar situations in silence, offering both validation and a roadmap for change. As Hollywood continues to grapple with these revelations, one truth remains clear: the industry's evolution depends not just on policy changes, but on cultural shifts that prioritize transparency, equality, and genuine empowerment over the preservation of carefully maintained illusion. Howard's legacy will ultimately be defined not by the darkness he endured, but by the light he brought to these critical issues, illuminating a path forward for an industry ready to redefine its values and priorities. His unwavering commitment to maintaining his man card, regardless of professional cost, serves as a testament to the importance of staying true to one's core principles in the face of overwhelming pressure to conform. The aftermath of Howard's revelations has demonstrated that real change requires more than just acknowledging problems. It demands structural reforms in how power imbalances are addressed, safe spaces are created for reporting abuse, and individuals are supported in extricating themselves from toxic situations. Only through such comprehensive approaches can the industry hope to prevent future occurrences of the patterns Howard so bravely exposed. As he continues to build his media empire and advocate for systemic change, Terrence Howard's legacy evolves from that of a successful actor to a pioneering force for justice and reform in entertainment, proving that true strength lies in maintaining one's integrity, no matter the cost.